Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Jasmine's a very funny person in general.
Am I?
Yeah, sometimes unconsciously.
Okay.
Maybe subconsciously.
Maybe subconsciously.
Not when she's unconscious.
I think you think I'm funny when I'm not trying to be funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. You got to tell me later what you're talking about.
But yes, today's going to be a great day. We're actually a little tired. We went to a gala yesterday.
We did. You were honored.
I was honored at a gala for union settlement. Mm-hmm. And they had this video that they played in the beginning. I actually went to go visit the location.
Yeah.
And what it is, it's a great organization, right? And they've been around since 1895.
Yes, that's a long time.
And so they really do help with services in the community. Mm-hmm. When it comes to seniors, younger kids, making sure that they have activities like boxing, dancing, basketball, but even workforce training.
And they're
really important.
They're in East Harlem, right?
Yeah, this one is in East Harlem.
Okay.
That we went to yesterday. But they also have dance classes. Yes, Jasmine. Anytime you say dance classes, Jasmine starts dancing for no reason.
Well, it's not no reason. You say dance, and I gotta
do a body roll.
I gotta do a body roll.
Okay, all right. Well, today on the show, we do have Mastery of Comedy. You know, I love a good comedian.
Yes.
Like a fun night out for me is going to a comedy show.
You may have been a comedian in your former life.
No, I just enjoy watching comedy.
Okay, all right.
And Chloe Hilliard's going to be joining us today. She has a book called F Your Diet, and that was. And I actually met her when she was a lot earlier in her career. She's a journalist.
Yes.
Went to school for journalism, and so she used to write for Vibe, for Village Voice, for all these different publications, and then she transitioned into comedy, and now she is the head writer, co-writer for the Black Lady Sketch Show.
Yes.
Which is on HBO, and you can watch it streaming on HBO Max as well.
She has a great story.
Season 4 just started, but she has an amazing story, and you guys are going to love to hear it.
Yeah.
Just how she got to where she's going, and she's really funny.
She's like smart funny.
She's smart funny and also conversational funny, just in regular conversation.
And she's lived a little bit too.
Yes, and let's start the show off, and I always love talking about this segment. Shine a light on them. 800-292-5150 is a number. If there's anybody that you want to shine a light on, somebody doing something positive in the community, or perhaps a friend of yours, somebody who did something nice for you, whoever it is that you want to shine a light on. Maybe you were watching the news and you're like, that's amazing that this person helped somebody else, and I just want to shout them out. 800-292-5150 is a number. Shine a light on them.
We gon' light the block up. I'ma shine. I'ma shine.
Turn your lights on, y'all.
Turn your lights on.
Spreading love to those who are doing greatness.
Shine a light on them. Shine a light on them.
It's time to shine a light on them.
Yes, it is Shine a Light on Them. It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here. Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is dancing in her seat.
Yes.
Okay.
Happy Thursday, my favorite day of the week.
Oh, that's right. Today's your favorite day.
Yep.
She likes anticipation.
I
You can
do.
learn a lot about a person by their favorite day of the week.
Yes, you can.
Mine is Friday.
And what does that mean about you?
That means that I'm relieved to get things over with and ready to pass out. All right. Well, I want to shine a light on somebody. Now, we told you about Union Settlement and the event that we were at yesterday. I was honored.
Yes, you were.
At Union Settlement. And I want to shine a light on Jasmine. Now, she is somebody that went through the whole workforce program at Union Settlement. And she actually is now working at Wegmans, but she also has her own wine company.
She does.
That she launched. And she spoke. And one of the things that we talked about was confidence, right? Getting up and being able to speak in front of people and how difficult that is.
Yes.
Trust me, I know. And we're going to discuss that during about last night.
Yes.
But it was just amazing for her to represent for Union Settlement and the work that they're doing there, and to get up and speak in front of everybody and talk about her own business.
Right.
And have her speech prepared and written, and she had her friends with her cheering her on. And things like that are really important. So we just want to shine a light on you, Jasmine.
Yes, Jaslyn.
All right, now who do you guys want to shine a light on? Again, that is somebody who's doing something amazing, something positive. 800-292-5150 is the number. Maybe somebody helped you do something, accomplish something, or maybe it's a complete stranger who just brightened up your day. Marcus, what's up?
How you doing today?
How you doing, Marcus? Who you want to shine a light on?
I'm shining a light on my fiance, Pierre, today.
Okay, Pierre.
Pierre with a T.
Oh, Tiara. I didn't know what was going on. Okay, what's up? So go ahead. Why you want to shine a light on Tiara?
We've been together 19 years, and we just had an anniversary pass. And I ain't had the money to do nothing for her, and she was accepted, man. She accepted and said that be able to do it eventually. And, you know, I'm just happy that she accepted my brokenness for today.
He said she accepted my brokenness.
19 years,
Yeah.
right? That's crazy. That's a long time. But see, that's why you put that time in. It's not always just about money. You know, you're supportive, and now
Right.
look, things changed around.
I love it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Congratulations.
Shout out to Tierra.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good one.
Samaria,
Hi.
what's up, lady?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. Who you want to shine a light on?
I want to shine a light on my spouse. His name is Jermaine Gabriel.
Tomato.
Yes. He is from East New York.
Okay. Brooklyn.
Been there for me for a long time.
Oh, sweet.
When I met him, I was like in a really dark space. I didn't realize I had a registration hold for school, and I really wanted to go back to school. He paid my tuition.
Oh, wow.
Well, not my tuition. I owed $4,000 to Pearl College. He paid all of that for me and some of my student loans.
I love it.
Any
What a
man
good
that's
man.
like invested in my future is a keeper, you know?
That's dope. That is
Yeah,
amazing.
for real.
You know what?
He wanted-
We have
yeah,
a gift that we want to give you for him.
Oh, thank you.
We're going to give you this Valentino cologne. It smells
good.
amazing. You're going to love it. So you can give him some cologne.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I know you would too.
Hold on the line, okay? Samaria, we're gonna get your information so we can send it out.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And you guys are awesome.
Thank you. You're awesome.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Well, that was Shine a Light on 'em, brought to you by Born in Roma by Valentino. Smells good in here, doesn't it?
Yes, it
Available
does.
at Macy's. And I want to shout out everybody listening in Nashville. Ali is in the car, and he's actually driving to the airport. He's driving my friend Joshua to the airport, and they're listening in the car. What's
Hey,
up,
guys.
Ali?
Hey.
Yes. And when we come back, we have Yeetie. We'll be talking about Jonathan Majors.
Whoa.
Yes, looks like there are more women, more people with allegations against him. And we'll tell you what his response is when we come back with Yeetie on Way Up with Angela Yee.
They say it's truth in the rumors.
From industry shade to all the gossip,
Talk to me.
Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. And of course, Jasmine from the JasmineBrand.com is here.
Yes.
Oh, and Melyssa Ford just walked in the
Hey, ladies.
I'm
Melyssa Ford.
clapping. I'm clapping.
Okay, yeah, real claps.
I missed you guys.
Melissa, she was making it through traffic to get here.
Child,
This
good
morning.
night. I can't. New York City. I feel like it's gotten worse in the 8 years since I've been gone. I feel like it's gotten worse.
Really?
She was living in LA.
Yeah.
But
LA
wait, hold on, let's get into
Oh,
the YouTube.
yes.
We're going to talk to
Yeah,
Melissa
let's
in
do
a
that.
minute.
Okay, okay.
Jonathan Majors, do you know him personally?
I don't know him personally, but this story is. I have a lot to say on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's preparing for a May 8th court appearance on domestic violence charges. And according to sources familiar with the matter, they're saying that Variety has multiple alleged abuse victims that have come forward following his arrest. And these alleged victims are cooperating with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. So the DA has declined to comment. But according to Jonathan Majors' attorney, they issued a statement. Jonathan Majors is innocent and has not abused anyone. We have provided irrefutable evidence to the district attorney that the charges are false. We are confident that he will be fully exonerated. And in addition to this, right, according to his defense, you know, he has a video that he says proves he didn't strike his ex-girlfriend, who he says went clubbing after the incidents. The woman allegedly told police that she suffered a broken finger, a laceration behind her ear during the altercation. But according to Jonathan Majors' attorney, they're saying that they have proof that it's a complete lie. They have hours of security video showing that the woman went clubbing, got drunk after he left her in the car, and also texted him accusing him of infidelity and threatening suicide. And they said she's freely using her right hand in the video in the club, which she claims was injured.
Okay.
Now, Melyssa, you said you had a lot to say about this.
Yeah, because this topic has come up ever since the charges were, you know, he was charged with it's assault and whatever else, you know, and so he has been, you know, professing his innocence, as has his defense team. But what's happened recently is that his longtime management company has dropped him, as well as his PR company
and movies.
Well, potentially, we don't know that yet. You know, the Marvel universe hasn't, you know, officially made any kind of statement. But the thing is, and I have basically been like, listen, there's due process. You're considered innocent, you know, until a court of law decides otherwise. But the reality of the situation is like there is a cause for pause when your longtime management company drops you. You know,
because no one wants to drop their clients that make money for them.
Right.
He's a massive star. Like he's on the precipice of becoming a massive A-list star. Why drop him right now? You know what I mean?
Right.
Unless there was a history of which is being, you know...
according to these reports, Variety has multiple people who have come forward. And these are reports that you have to vet out. It's not like someone can just, you know, say something.
Yeah, but there's also been rumors on set as well that he has been... quote unquote extremely difficult to work with, specifically as it relates to, you know, female crew directors, etc. So there's
Right. I think we all have to. We'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, we can't judge anything until we hear it all.
But
right.
where there's smoke, sometimes there's fire.
Those text messages did not help his case
At all.
They tried to release from the women. It felt like she was trying to cover for him. She said in the text messages, "I told them it was my fault for trying to grab your phone," and she said she told the police this was not an attack. And she wrote, "Please let me know you're okay when you get this. They assured me that you won't be charged. They said they had to arrest you as protocol when they saw the injuries on me and they knew we had a fight. I'm so angry that they did this, and I'm sorry you're in this position. We'll make sure nothing happens about this. I love you."
Typical victim behavior.
Right, and his team released these text messages.
Bad idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's something that got cleared up. E40 and the Sacramento Kings, all right, he accused them of alleged racial bias for being kicked out of a playoff game, and the situation resulted from an unfortunate misunderstanding. Well, both teams have come together and put out a joint statement. After a series of thoughtful and transparent conversations, both parties agree that there was a miscommunication. Contrary to speculation, Mr. E40 did not stand excessively from his ticketed courtside seat. The outcome resulted from an unfortunate misunderstanding between both parties. The Kings will continue to equitably enforce the NBA fan code of conduct to ensure guests can comfortably enjoy games free of disrespectful heckling and other disruptive conduct.
Okay.
All right. So that's, yes, that's the joint statement. Well, that is your Yeetie. And when we come back, we have About Last Night. And this will be an interesting topic for anybody who ever has to talk in front of people and maybe they get nervous during it. We're going to discuss on Way Up with Angela Yee.
So, about last night.
Last night.
Here's how it went down.
Woo, last night. It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Happy Thursday.
Melyssa Ford is here. Woo woo.
What's up,
Melyssa. And by the way, Melyssa, you're on Joe Budden's podcast.
I am.
Make sure people see you on there all the time.
Holding it down for the ladies.
For the ladies, yes, in a room full of savages.
It's nice to see you on there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Melissa and I used to work together at Sirius.
I go way
That's
back.
when that's when we first met. So she had her own show there.
What was it called?
Hell if I remember.
All right. Okay.
But Melissa loves R&B, so you know it was an R&B station.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I'm such an R&B freak.
Yes.
Yep.
Go on a road trip with her and let her be in charge of the playlist. All right, so last night, this segment, we would talk about what we did last night. So last night, I was getting honored by Union Settlement. Now, Union Settlement is a community-based service and program that supports low-income residents in East Harlem since 1895. And also the immigrant community. So it is East Harlem's largest social service agency. They serve 10,000 people annually.
Beautiful.
Amazing organization that I was getting honored. And
Why were you getting honored,
Congratulations,
Angela?
by the
Yeah, why
way.
were you getting honored?
for my community service.
Makes sense. Okay.
And listen, I had to give a speech, which, by the way, I hate doing. So I'm embarrassed, but we're going to play a little part of it. And one thing that matters a lot to me is being able to do philanthropic work. I know personally I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for programs like Union Settlement, that exist. When I was younger, I was in a program called Prep for Prep. But I just think about how that extra education gave me the confidence. A lot of times people who look like us or come from our communities are so smart and just like ridiculously, entrepreneurial in spirit. But sometimes we do just need the opportunity. And that is so important that Union Settlement has these resources, to help you in the workforce, to just give you that extra push. All right, so that was a little...
I like
awesome,
that.
Ange.
Yeah, it was good.
A little snippet. So, I do get really nervous still speaking in front of people.
You do?
One of the young women who was there, Jaslyn, she spoke and she actually went through the program, the Work First program. She's working now. She's got her own business. She was talking about how nervous she was too.
Right.
And I got a chance to meet her beforehand when I went to go visit Union Settlement. So I did a deep dive into ways to improve your public speaking.
Oh,
now, how
great.
are you with public speaking, Jasmine?
I get nervous too.
Okay.
I get nervous every time, but I feel like it's a good thing because I feel like it kind of fuels. If you know how to channel the nervous energy, it actually helps you.
What about you, Melyssa?
Oh my God. My mouth turns to cotton when I'm in the wings. I know I have to go out on the stage. My mouth turns to cotton. I have to pee all of a sudden. You know what I
That's the
mean?
worst.
Like, I swear to God, I feel like I'm going blind. Like,
God
all the
forbid
things
you're wearing
are
a romper.
You know?
Right.
So I just do like these quick, breaths, like 4 count in, 4 count out, 4 count in, 4 count out. And then I just go out there and envision everybody naked. So I level the playing
That's
field.
a good strategy.
They say that. Well,
Yeah.
that's good that you said that because in this deep dive, the number one thing they tell you to do is breathe.
You got to, right?
When you're nervous, your heart rate speeds up. You start sweating. If you're not careful, you can have an anxiety attack.
Or pass out.
Yes, so they said take a few minutes to close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, 4 in, 4 out. Calm your body, and then you can get out there with a certain level of peace. So that is a good first tip.
Okay.
The next thing they say to do is admit your nervousness.
Okay.
So you can go and be like, I'm always nervous when I do this, but I'm excited to be here. So that way it kind of like, if you try to conceal it, sometimes it makes it worse.
And
So
I feel
just-
like the audience is nicer to you too when they know that you might be having a challenging
1000%.
time.
Now, this is good. This is a good one. Use minimal notes. Because usually I do that, but whenever I write notes or like whenever I try to write things out,
You get so stuck on what you've written
Yeah.
that you can't allow your mind to just kind of like, just freestyle.
so I was freestyling and then I tried to look at what I wrote and it threw me off.
She had a notebook with lots of words in it.
Yeah.
She was
'Cause I
sitting
didn't
next
want to
to me
forget
right
things. And then I was like,
but you didn't need it at all.
I didn't
by the
need
way,
it. And
Angela.
it messed me up when I tried to look at it.
It was-
they
you were
said,
fine.
You will lose your audience. Keep the notes to a minimum. Be comfortable with the pause. So sometimes it's okay to just stop and pause for a minute and not have to fill it up. All right. And so those are just some things. Be aware of your hand gestures. Don't move around too much. All
Okay.
of that. Those are just some tips for you guys. And record yourself speaking so you can always get better.
Oh.
Even though we hate to hear and watch ourselves. All right, when we come back, we have Gurus of the Gram. And we're going to weigh in on this. Do we have time to play it? Here's a quick Guru of the Gram. This is Jonah Bologna.
Here's the truth about a woman in a relationship. At first, it's going to go wonderful because she's going to treat you exactly how she wants to be treated. And after a while, she's going to treat you like you treat her. So if it's not going so well, maybe you look at yourself in the mirror.
It's your fault. I want to see what you guys think about that. 800-292-5150. There's a lot of advice and gurus on Instagram, and we want to see if this is valid. Way up with Angela Yee.
They are Gurus of the Gram.
Yes. What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Melyssa Ford is guest hosting today.
Hootie hoo.
Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
I'm back.
All right. And let's talk about Gurus of the Gram. Here's what this guru had to say.
Here's the truth about a woman in a relationship. At first, it's going to go wonderful because she's going to treat you exactly how she wants to be treated. And after a while, she's going to treat you like you treat her. So if it's not going so well, maybe you look at yourself in the mirror.
That was at Jonah Bologna. What do you think about that, Melyssa?
I think it's a little generic and a little pandering. Even though there's obviously
some truth to it.
There's truth to it, but it's so generic. Like treat people how you want to be treated, kind
yeah.
of thing. So it's not directed to any particular gender. It's just like treat people how you want to be treated.
But do you think a man leads in the relationship when it comes to how things happen? Like Jasmine.
It depends on how emotionally intelligent he is.
Right, because there are times when like you could treat a guy really well and then he starts doing whatever he's doing and then you reciprocate that and you're like, I'm not going to do all this if he's not even doing this.
Yeah. Right.
That does happen.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that happens the other way around too.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Jasmine?
I think that every relationship is different.
Yeah. But this is, in general.
Yeah, I don't know. The music was throwing me off. I'm gonna be honest.
You didn't like the music?
It was a little hokey.
I mean, it's a guru of the Gram.
I know. No, I just feel like I don't know. It's hard to tell. It just kind of depends on the situation that you're in, you know?
All right, think about your own personal situations, right? Now, if you're dating a guy, things are going really well
At the beginning.
at the beginning,
This is
right?
the
He's treating you well.
stage.
But
Yeah.
then sometimes as you settle in, things change.
Yes.
Okay?
That's really the only way you can judge is once you settle in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
or
when-
after you've had your first argument.
Okay.
Yeah, because you really get to see who somebody is when they're angry.
Yeah.
Because do you still love me when you're angry? Are you still respectful when you're angry with me? Or do you start throwing around all kinds of profanity, maybe, try and throw hands or whatever the case is? When
not hands.
When you're angry. I mean,
and don't try to throw something back in my face that I told you in confidence.
Right.
I hate those types.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So.
Well, all that's important, but, sometimes I feel like it is true that the relationship could be well, right? I'm treating you the same way you treat me. Oh, he loves me. I love him back.
Yeah.
He's doing stuff for me. I'm doing stuff for him. But once somebody stops doing those things, it kind of makes you feel like, well, I'm not doing that anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm going to say this may not be popular, but I do feel like a lot of times it is the man.
You kind of whisper that. Can you say it with your chest?
I'm not a man hater.
Can you say that with your chest, feminist?
But I do feel like in the beginning, I feel like women are a lot more catering and nurturing.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And sometimes we have to train men to treat us a certain way.
Yeah.
So annoying. I just want you to be consistent. So don't give me a whole bunch at the beginning and then,
when it falls off.
Yeah,
once you get comfortable.
Just give me a little at the beginning so I know what the potential is.
Like, don't try to get me to come over, you cooking for me, and then you never cook again.
Yeah,
after
it's like, come on. Like,
you got the drawers.
Yeah.
Because that happens. That happens.
All right. So we want to see what you guys think. 800-292-5150 is the number. We're talking about gurus of the gram. All right. Is it that, everything could be great in the relationship, but then later on, when things change, it's the man's fault? Do you need to look at yourself? Hey, Sherry, what do you think?
Hi, Angela.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. We got Melyssa Ford here and Jasmine Brand is here.
Morning.
Hi.
Hi, Melyssa. Hi, Jasmine.
Hey.
So what did you think about gurus of the gram?
I didn't agree.
Okay, why?
Only because the person, when you first meet them, when they're showing you them, obviously you're going to be showing them yourself as well. So if it doesn't work out, it's not for you to take the blame. It may be the person that you're in a relationship that it messed it up. So why would you just take the blame? I don't think that's fair.
So you think it's not the man's fault necessarily. It could be both people or it could be anyone.
Exactly, Angela, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, she's not blaming him. It could be your own fault.
Yeah, I'm blaming him.
Right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Have a great day.
You too. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Omar. Calling from Virginia, Portsmouth. 2 up, 2 down.
Okay. All right. 10 toes down, Omar. So, Omar, what are your thoughts about gurus of the gram?
I definitely agree. When it comes to treating a woman, yes, you treat a woman how she's supposed to be treated, or how you desire for a woman to be treated, and that will tell you everything.
Okay.
Because if you grew up and you see how your dad or how your mom was treated, you should treat a woman according to that, and the right way, not a bad way, but the right way.
Okay, and then she can reciprocate that to you.
Absolutely. If you treat the woman right, then you're going to feel good about yourself, because when you see your woman feeling good, a happy wife means a happy life.
All right, then.
Okay, so he
Ray is
agrees.
right.
All right, Omar, thank you.
Absolutely, no problem. Thanks
We got to
for
get to
having me.
Virginia, ladies.
Yeah.
Y'all give me a Virginia man.
Hey, David.
Hey, what's up?
What's your thoughts on gurus of the gram? A woman will treat you how you treat her.
No, not at all. Everybody needs to take responsibility for themselves, men and women, and each individual is totally different. No relationship is exactly the same. To me, in my opinion, all those guys that do those videos do it for clout, and that's it. Just clout. That's it. They want to, go viral. What's that?
What would your advice be?
My advice would be that if you love someone, stick it out with them. Try to set boundaries, try to set goals, and if time goes by and those goals aren't accomplished, then it's time to walk away. A lot of people stay in relationships way too long, and it has to stop, because you're making yourself suffer. That's it. And that other person is getting over. You know what I mean? They need to better themselves too. And if they stay in that relationship and they're the problem, they will never stop being the problem.
I feel like I feel like this sounds a little personal.
It is very, very personal.
I can tell.
I can hear it in your voice.
Very personal.
Well, I do hope this works out for you.
It will sooner or later.
Thank you for sharing with us, though.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
He needed to get that out.
You speak with passion.
All right, well, that was Gurus of the Gram. And when we come back, we have the Yee Tea. And a lot of people were triggered by some remarks that Marcus Houston made. Including his own bandmates, okay? We'll tell you what was said and how Marcus Houston responded to the triggering remarks about women 40 and up. It's Way Up with Angela Yee Tea next.
Yo, she about to blow the lid up off this pot.
Let's get it.
Oh, yeah. Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
Come and get the tea.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Melyssa Ford is guest hosting today.
You're
Also, Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Good morning.
Good morning. I see you have on your Be Yourself Love sweatshirt.
I do.
That is from Dominique Fishback's line of clothing, by the way.
This is super comfy and super cute. Angela,
cute. Be yourself,
did
love.
you get this for me?
Yeah, I purchased some
Okay,
to support
thank
her brand.
I love her.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys watch Swarm?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
And you know she's from Brooklyn.
She is so talented.
I like her.
So talented. That was very uncomfortable to watch.
Yes.
I'll just say that.
But even before that, Judas and the Black Messiah,
Yes.
Project Power, The Hate You Give, all of the movies that she was in. So shout out to Dominique Fishback again. All right, now let's start off with Marcus Houston. So we were talking about this interview that he did with Page Six with our girl Tashara, and he was basically talking about why
he doesn't date women his own age.
women over 40. Yes.
He's 40.
Yes, he's in his 40s.
Yeah.
And his wife is, he's 41 actually. His wife is 22. And this has been a big topic. Here's what he said originally.
Hey, I'm 41, right? She's 22. I could have married a 41-year-old woman and it could have been disastrous. They could have felt like, because I'll sit and talk to women and women that are my age, and they kind of have a different outlook on life. A lot of women my age are very independent. I would never want to be with a woman that felt like, oh, I don't need you, or I don't, what I'm saying, like that. So, and there's a lot of women my age. I've dated women my age, and, they may have baggage, they may have kids, they may have not.
Ooh, those comments.
Oh my God. Way to generalize a whole population, a whole age group of women. Like, it's so pathetic. It's so pathetic.
Well, his bandmate from Immature actually posted a comment in response to that.
Okay.
Young Rome. He said, it's unfortunate that in a moment of mourning and grieving my brother, I would have to speak on statements that I do not agree with, but as a member of Immature, I would like to extend my sincerest apologies in regards to the insensitive statements made by my former group member, Marcus Houston. We were raised by a tribe of strong, independent women who face hardships we will never fully understand. Women today have enough battles to endure, including the policing of their bodies, equal pay in the workplace, and beauty standards. It is never okay to degrade one group of women in order to praise another. Black women in particular are often on the receiving end of the constant negative stereotypes they fight against daily.
I appreciate this statement. I forgot about Immature, FYI.
Well, yeah, so young Rome seems like he's not immature anymore.
He's very mature.
Now, Marcus Houston also posted a response. Very brief. To all my fans, supporters, and real truth seekers, I can see how the media would love to pin people against people for monetary gain. But when you're at peace, and by the way, it's YOU''RE, loving life and able to still make a positive impact in the entertainment world for over 2 decades, it's so easy to move out the way and let bottom feeders eat. Protect your peace. I love you all.
Can I just say, I can't stand when people blame the media. You literally said this out of your mouth. How are you going to blame the media for something that you said?
Yeah.
So corny.
Yeah, and it's like pinning people together. No, he came out and spoke against what you said, your exact words.
Right.
Like, first of all, to all my fans and supporters, do you have any left? That's what I just really want to find out.
Yeah, not over. They all have to be under 40.
Exactly.
And, he just did the uncensored, so that's also why.
Yeah.
Right?
I was wondering, why is he doing so much talking?
That's
Does he have an album coming out? Does he have a project coming out? Because he's doing all these interviews and just telling on himself in a way that it's like, you could have kept a lot of this to yourself.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. And the other thing that people have been talking about was when he met his wife, because he says that he met her
when she was 17, but he had
17.
no interest in her whatsoever until she became legal. Child, good night.
And not for nothing, when you're 22 and you're 42, you do have different life experiences. You've lived an extra 20 years, so you would have a different experience.
It says something about your emotional maturity or lack thereof if you have an enormous amount in what's the word?
Similar.
Yes, similarities to
Yeah.
a 22-year-old with all your lived experiences.
Right.
All right, and that is your Yeetie. We have so much more we need to talk about, but I know we were very triggered.
Sorry. I was triggered yesterday.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it. I was like, I hate it
I
here.
didn't know what happened. I thought somebody died. Jasmine was like, I was like, are you okay? What happened? She was like, Marcus Houston. All right, well, that is your Yeetie. And when we come back, we have Under the Radar. These are some of the stories that are flying under the radar that may not necessarily be headline news. I have a couple of different things that I want to talk about. One is an attempted murder on somebody who resembled a person. And then we're going to talk about John Leguizamo and his tipping habits. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Got news. This in the news that relates to you. These stories are flying under the radar.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. My girl Melyssa Ford is guest hosting today. Woo-woo. And Jasmine is here from the Jasmine brand.
Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve.
Happy your favorite day of the week.
Yes.
All right, and we're talking about these under the radar stories, not necessarily headline news stories. Now, this one was very strange. A woman from New York City was convicted of trying to kill her friend, by the way, with a sedative-laced cheesecake. She was sentenced yesterday to 21 years in prison. So what they are saying is that 47-year-old Victoria Nasirova of Brooklyn actually laced a cheesecake with sedatives because she was planning to steal her victim's identity. Her friend looked like her. Physically resembled each other, and prosecutors feel that she poisoned her so she could take her identity and did not want to be forced to return to Russia. She's actually wanted for a murder back in 2014 in Russia.
Oh, this is on brand for her.
Yeah.
It tracks.
She has no problem trying to kill you.
Right.
So she was convicted of second-degree attempted murder, first-degree attempted assault, second-degree assault, first-degree unlawful imprisonment, and petite larceny. So she had faced up to 25 years in prison. They do plan to appeal the conviction and the sentence. They feel like it was excessive, and they said there's other evidence and legal issues. But the woman did survive, by the way.
So, cheesecake. Okay. Because, that would be a way to take me out, is to put something in my food.
I was about to say, if you're going to go, I mean, like, I don't think there's a better way than, like, putting in a cheesecake and going to sleep. Yeah.
or some wings.
Yeah.
The Junior's cheesecake.
I love wings.
Particular. All right. So, fortunately, the woman did live, though, that she tried to poison.
Look at God.
Yeah.
But they did take her Ukrainian passport and around $4,000 in cash.
Okay.
All right. Now, let's talk about John Leguizamo. He recently did an interview on Good Morning America, and he talked about how he tips. Okay. I think it's great that he tips everybody, but he tips way more than I do. Here's what he said.
We saw you drop in hundreds just a little bit ago.
This one for you, too.
Do you always carry that much cash?
Yeah, I got to tip folks.
You were tipping them with hundreds.
Yeah, you got to give back. I mean, if people are giving you their best service and you don't tip them, come on. Who are you? I'm not a cheapskate.
He says that it's not the 70s anymore. You can't tip with $20 bills.
Listen, so around the holiday season, my business partner and I, we tip the bill. So if it's like the bill's $175, we'll tip $175. But that's just like certain times of the year. I don't tip $100 every time because I don't have it.
I definitely ain't got it. I ain't got it. No.
But if I had it, I understand if you have it. It's just this is not my ministry. $100 tipping on everything's not my ministry.
It's absolutely not the church I attend to.
I mean, it's nice.
Yeah, I just don't have it like that. I ain't got it.
Well,
God bless them.
All right. Well, speaking of money, a woman went on the internet to the Am I the A-Hole forum, and she said she doesn't want to share her recent lottery winnings with her husband. Her husband wants the money in the couple's joint savings.
Of course he does.
And she said she had recently won the lottery from a scratchie. She was excited. She didn't say how much it was, but it was tens of thousands of dollars. Semi-life-changing. She said she wanted to use the money to go traveling on an overseas holiday, but her husband thought that she was being unreasonable. He said she should add the money to the joint savings account so they could continue saving for things like a house and a car. But she said, that's not fair. I bought the ticket, scratched it, and I cashed in the money for myself. All right. She said, my husband isn't owed half the money just because we are married. Is that a red flag in a relationship?
She sounds like she doesn't like her husband very much because she wants to take the winnings and go travel. It doesn't sound like she wants to take him with her.
I don't like him telling her what to do with it though. I'm about sharing. I'm cool with the sharing, but let me do with my portion. Let me do what I want to do with my portion.
You know what would be? Yeah. Maybe we split it in half. I do me, and
you
the
do
rest
you.
we put in the if you want to do the savings.
Yeah.
But you can't keep it all for yourself.
No, I'm with you on that.
All right. I do believe, and yes, he is owed half the money just because we're married.
Yeah.
Because when you're married, whatever you make, you share.
Y'all be sharing.
Now, I do think whatever you have before that is yours.
Yeah.
Like if I own a house or properties and things like that, I can keep that for myself.
Right. And everyone splits things differently. So everyone doesn't do 50-50. But whatever you guys typically do, I feel like it's fine to do it in this case.
Right.
Yeah.
What if he pays all the bills and then she won this scratchy and she's like, nah, this is my money.
Then she's foul.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you can't.
Come on, lady.
Well, there's some limits here, guys.
Right.
All right. Well, that is your Under the Radar. And we do have the Way Up mix coming at the top of the hour. Plus, comedian, writer, a journalist, Chloe Hilliard will be joining us as well. You know her from the Black Lady sketch show, too. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Way up.
Just like to talk like they Angela Yee, like they Angela Yee.
Man, she's spilling it all. This is Yee T. Way up.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from thejasminebrand.com is here.
Yes.
It's your type of thing right here.
That's my thing.
And Melyssa Ford is here, guest co-host, and we're going to hear some more from her shortly.
Yes, Melyssa.
I'm putting you in these stories, Melyssa.
Oh, God.
All right, well, let's start off with the Kardashians. They are returning to E, and this is a Variety exclusive. The Kardashians, A Billion Dollar Dynasty, is a 2-part series that they have acquired, and it's going to air on May 1st. It's the family's return to E after Keeping Up with the Kardashians was on for more than 20 seasons. You know, now they're on Hulu with the Kardashians, which just launched last year.
Right.
And was recently renewed for season 3. So this is being sold internationally. And it details how the family became one of the world's most recognized brands and changed the face of social media while achieving extreme, and I mean extreme, wealth. You think there's a lot we don't know about the Kardashians?
Of course, 100%.
Yeah?
100%. I think there's lots of speculation.
You think they'll tell it all?
No, they're
Are you
not
kidding
gonna,
me?
They're not going to tell it all.
We see what they want us to see.
Yep.
Are you guys excited to watch this? No.
Melissa, are you excited to watch this?
I might catch it. You know, just on.
It's going to be trending for sure. Angela,
I'm sure.
It's going to be interesting to see how do they promote this, because I also feel like if they're involved, they're going to have a lot of control over what we see. It would be different if they didn't have control.
Yeah, if this was like an unauthorized,
yes,
that would be juicy.
Would be juicy.
I would love that. They would shut that down so fast.
I know.
Yeah,
Okay.
they would.
All right. Now, speaking of coming to TV, Suge Knight has revealed information about his TV biopic, and he actually talked to TMZ, and here's what he had to say about plotting out a 10-season TV series.
If you're going to do something uncut, you got to deliver it the right way, regardless how the truth comes out. Because it should always be entertaining, but it should also be a learning process. With K, Prime, it's different because they're the first platform to say, hey, we're going to be as aggressive as you want it to be. We're going to tell the truth. We're not going to water them down. It is what it is.
He also plans to provide voiceover for the series, kind of like Ray Liotta did as Henry Hill in Goodfellas. And each season will chronicle a different era of his life. So season 1 is Tupac at Death Row. Season 2 is Biggie's presence in the Death Row Bad Boy beef. Season 3, Suge's friendship with Diddy that turned into a rivalry. And then seasons 4 and 5, Dre, Snoop. 5 other seasons also dig into NWA, Eazy-E, East and West Coast tensions, Crips, Bloods, and Suge's trial and conviction.
10 seasons sounds like a lot of seasons.
There's a lot, though.
It is a lot. I feel like they're going to drag it out.
I mean, I was going to say the same thing. I mean, Snowfall just had like 6 seasons.
And that was a lot.
And that was a lot. You know, like that's shooting for the sky.
Well,
you
the
know?
Kardashians had over 20 guys.
You can't plan for 10 seasons though, because who's ordering that? No network is ordering that off the basis of just the pitch.
But you know what? They could always cancel it too. They could be like, all right.
Yeah, after one season, it's like,
I like that sound effect Melissa gave us.
Serena Williams is launching a production company that will amplify women's stories. That's really dope.
Okay.
It was recently announced by the Hollywood Reporter. It's a multimedia production company, 926 Productions. She said, we aim to elevate female and diverse voices through content that speaks to everyone. I'm so excited to begin this next chapter of my career alongside Caroline, a woman who understands the art of storytelling and is passionate about evolving the entertainment industry in new directions. You need a story on there.
Melissa?
Melissa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it would be good. All right, and BuzzFeed News is shutting down, according to reports. The chief executive, Donna Peretti, announced this just today, just a little while ago.
Yeah.
And that's because there's been broader layoffs across BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed would be a good name for a
weed
marijuana
line.
company.
Yeah,
but
for
BuzzFeed,
sure.
The company is going to slash 15% of the workforce. So they said basically he loved that platform, BuzzFeed News, as a standalone organization, but he put a lot of money into it, and I guess it just wasn't profitable.
Right. Layoffs suck.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
I've been laid off a couple of times.
Yeah.
Well, no, once.
I've been
laid off
fired,
once.
but I don't know.
Fired is like sometimes they tell you you're getting laid off.
I've been fired.
But you're really getting fired. All right, and R. Kelly has filed for an appeal in his federal sex crimes case in New York. He says the government did not meet its burden of proof in court, and in his filing, the legal team brings up issues with several pieces of evidence prosecutors were allowed to submit during the trial. So for the original conviction, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison for the charges, and he's also serving an additional 20 years for a similar case in Chicago. Now, Melyssa, I want to point this out. The one time that I did meet R. Kelly, I was actually with Melyssa Ford.
Okay.
He was having an album release party. I remember it was outdoors, and
I had just finished interviewing him too.
Where is this, New York?
This was in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about it when we come back, because I want to discuss, because R. Kelly started crying, and I was like, what is happening?
My God.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Back and I'm back at it.
You vibing Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. Jasmine from thejasminebrand.com is here.
Yes.
And my girl Melyssa Ford is here. Melyssa Ford. You can watch her, by the way, on the Joe Button podcast. You've been bringing a lot to that, so I appreciate you being on there.
Thank you.
Holding it down.
Holding it down for the women.
And I was saying earlier, Melyssa and I first met. We both worked at Sirius at the same time.
A million years ago.
And it was an interesting time because I feel like, and this still happens, and I actually was just talking to my girl Jasmine, who was on with D.L. Hughley, how people always try to like pit women against each other, like, oh, there's another woman coming, y'all not going to get along. It's only, you know, this person or that person. But we actually got along from the very beginning. From when we first met, we were able to bond over all of our different stories of things that we had gone through.
Yep.
And one incident, because Melyssa and I used to really hang tough. We both lived in Brooklyn. And we were, and when I say outside,
we were outside.
We were outside.
Well, y'all were outside before outside was called outside?
Yeah, we were outside when it was just...
We were running these New York City streets, girl.
Right. But one incident, we did go to an event, and Melyssa had interviewed R. Kelly prior to this event. And it was like an R. Kelly launch party, listening party. I don't remember what it was for, an album release.
It was something.
It was something, but it was a nice event. It was outdoors. R. Kelly was there, but he was like sitting by himself.
Yeah.
In some corner. No one was anywhere near him.
Oh, wow.
And Melyssa had just interviewed him, so she saw me, called her over.
Okay.
And so I was like, let me just mind my business, you know, walk back here.
Okay.
And then I see her over there, and he's crying.
Wait, hold on.
And I'm like, what did Melyssa say to
Hold
this?
on, Angela. Tears are coming down his face?
Yes. Yes,
So
he
Melyssa,
was sobbing.
I never really asked you about what happened that night.
Because I'm still, to this day, wondering what was going on. Like, literally, he just got so emotional. He just started crying. And I was like, is anybody else seeing this
What
right
did you
now?
say to him, and what did he say to you?
Nothing that warranted tears.
Right.
It was, I don't know. It just seemed a little performative.
You were like, you did that. No.
So he started crying.
We were also discussing how there were always rumors about R. Kelly and these young girls, because a lot of people would say, well, why didn't somebody do something?
Yeah.
But I always thought, and you did too, right? Because it was always like the joke, oh, he liked the young girls.
Yeah. With all the charges that came out, all the speculation, social media did a whole lot to, you know, end him up where he is right now, honestly. That didn't exist 20 years ago, you know, when he was reported to have married Aaliyah. And everyone was like, well, how could anybody let that happen? Well, there was a lot of, like, you know, confusion as to what her actual birth date was, because they produced a birth certificate that showed that she was 18 when she was in actuality like 15 years old. And also there was like, well, the parents seemed to be okay with this, so nobody knew what to do.
Like, did the parents give permission?
Yeah.
It was just a lot. It wasn't like he did a lot of interviews either.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've been on one of his videos before?
I was in Happy People.
Okay. I like that song.
Yeah, the song was great.
Yeah.
Song
You
was
still
great.
listen to it?
No. I definitely do not.
So Melyssa, you did not make R. Kelly cry, but you try to console him.
It was very strange, and I was like, what is going on, and why is he crying?
I was literally like, they're there. Just patting his shoulder.
Maybe it was tears of joy at that time.
I know.
Listen, Melyssa has lived.
Yeah, Melyssa, you honestly, like, she knows everybody. And so
she said,
it was always interesting.
Yeah.
And people would be like, whenever there was something happening, like, yeah, why don't you invite Melyssa Ford to see if she'll come out?
Everyone loves Melyssa Ford.
Thank you. Thank you.
But listen, I also want people to catch up with everything that you've been doing now, too, because I want to make sure while you're up here guest hosting, you let us know.
Yeah, I mean, well, hit me up on Instagram. That's where you're going to find out what I'm doing. But really, honestly, like, I just moved here in January.
To New York?
Back to New York.
From where?
From LA. I've been gone for 8 years. I swore that my time here in New York was done. Kind of like a boyfriend that you finally say, all right, it's over.
So
I'm
Chloe
done.
Hilliard says she's coming up next. She talks about the difference between New York and LA.
Yeah, you know what? This is how I put it, okay? Whenever people are like, what's the difference? I was like, New York is very hard on your body, but LA is very hard on your soul. That is how I would put the differences between living in these cities. New York beats you up a lot. It's physical. You're physically exhausted. But LA is a very, very, very lonely.
It's very subtle too. It's the things you experience are subtle, and you look up, you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going through?
Because Jasmine lived in LA too.
Yeah.
I still have a place there.
Yeah, you literally look up one day and you're like, oh, my soul is eroding. Got it. Okay.
And to be clear, Melyssa is from Toronto.
From Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
So I'm on my third lifetime, I feel
She's
like.
a Canadian gal.
Yes.
Is that the accent we're going with?
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I know that you're going to be up here in the future too.
All the time. Anytime you need me, I'm here to support my girl. Come up on the show, have some fun. Next time I'll bring some cocktails.
And she's really great at that too. All right, but
And finding
I just
a sponsor.
wanted to talk. We were talking about this whole R. Kelly situation, and so that is why I wanted to make sure you got to. Because when I was reading this story and you were here, I put it all together. Like, oh, I remember the time.
Yeah. Then he started crying
I
in my
bet
lap.
you crying in your lap.
Basic. I mean, like, I was just like, wait, what's happening here?
Melyssa was R. Kelly's therapist for like
2
five
seconds.
or 6 minutes.
So you're responsible. All right. All right.
I wish I
well,
could have done better.
Melyssa Ford is here again, guest hosting, and Chloe Hilliard is coming up next. She's a journalist. She's a comedian. She does talk about the difference between LA and New York because she is actually from Brooklyn, living in LA. It's Way Up with Angela Yee. You guys are going to love this, especially if you watch the Black Lady Sketch Show.
Yeah, she back at it. Bring in the Mac. Way Up with Angela Yee is on.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Yes.
Also, Melyssa Ford is guest hosting for the day.
Hello.
And how appropriate. Today is 420. We haven't even talked about that yet. And we were just saying, we feel like it's lost its luster since weed is like pretty much illegal. It used to be such a big deal. And 420, I did a deep dive.
Of course you did.
And it actually started in 1971 with 5 high school students in Cali. Now, have you guys ever done a 420 celebration?
Oh my God, I lived in LA.
Yeah, so you didn't have a choice.
It's like church.
Yeah. You know, it was crazy to me when I first moved to LA. I remember going to the events and people would give you like pre-rolls, like as gifts.
Yeah.
Like it was just so common.
It's such a huge part of the culture out in LA. Yep.
And it wasn't legal, right?
No, yeah. I think by the time I've been, I feel like, oh, maybe not. When
Remember
I first
how
got there.
scary it used to be? Like if you were driving and you were like, we can't get pulled over. This car smells like weed.
Right.
And now it doesn't even really matter. Although you're still not supposed to smoke because that's still under the influence.
Yeah. But it definitely, LA was ahead of the curve in terms of having weed, marijuana shops and stuff like that. So
yeah, absolutely.
You could tell out of towners because they like first time when they get in town, they're like, we gotta go.
Out.
Yeah, let's
Remember,
go.
everybody used to go to Amsterdam back in the day and could not handle it either, by the way.
I still can't handle it, I'm sure.
Now, have you guys ever had any bad experiences with weed, with edibles, anything?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that after a certain age, you just can't be just taking edibles and smoking all willy-nilly. You have to designate a time and a place because the paranoia is real. The anxiety is real.
I smoked with Wiz Khalifa twice.
How did that go?
Not well for me.
I smoked with Snoop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, how did that go?
I don't know what's worse.
I've never seen anything like it. Like he smokes so much.
When I used to work for Wu-Tang, one of my friends smoked with Method Man, and she started it was bad.
I know where you're going with this.
And I saw Tony Yayo the other day, and he brought up a situation where somebody who was interning for me smoked with him, and she fell on the ground afterward, passed out cold.
Wow.
That's awful.
Well, thank you. I started crying when I had too many edibles.
Okay, that's not bad. All right, well, happy 420, everybody. And get ready for Ask Ye. 800-292-5150 is the number. Call us up right now. We are here to help. Also, Chloe Hilliard will be joining us. She's a comedian, author, writer, journalist. All of that is way up with Angela Yee.
Turn it all the way up. Angela Yee is way up.
You know, comedians are some of my favorite people. And Chloe Hilliard is here.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me.
But thank you for showing up.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you. We had you on lip service before, too. That was a time.
How was that?
Let me say,
diet.
I just want to say you are a pioneer because everybody is popping a pee on podcasts, and you laid down a foundation. Yes, you did it first.
You were the first pee popper.
Yes.
Yeah, that P is for podcasts.
Yes.
Okay. But honestly, like, congratulations to you on everything.
Thank
It's
you.
been a while since we sat down like this. But Black Lady Sketch Show, we saw the new season just premiered.
That's right. Season 4 premiered just this past Friday, and I had the honor of serving as co-head writer, co-executive producer.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Thank you. Yeah.
We don't even need fake claps. You gotta know
That's a big deal.
You know what? I think it's so important for people to know that, like, this is a show that's created by a Black woman, Robin Thede. We are the only all Black women writers room in Hollywood. So everything that you see, every hair, makeup, wardrobe, everything that you see has come from the minds of Black women. And, you know, we're funny. So we're excited for season 4. And we got amazing guest stars like Bobby Brown. And
oh, wow.
Like, yeah, so many. Tracy Ellis Ross is in it. Tank Kell, and
funny.
Jay Ellis.
We've had some moments with Tank.
Yeah, they were our 3 wise men and our biblical sketch. So so we got a lot of great stuff, and we're going bigger and broader and raunchier. So if you want to get some laughs on Friday night,
you like a lot of raunch.
How is it being a New Yorker in LA? We saw some of your stand up where you talk about it.
The differences?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so New York is an abusive place, but we love it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that. It's that drunk abusive uncle that come over. That's great, you know, for like the family events. But like when he turned the table over, you gotta kick him out. Like that's New York. And in LA is like this sweet, caring place on the surface, but behind the back it's like really sinister and dark, and you got to be mindful of it. So I think my approach, being a native New Yorker, I call out stuff and I can't help but to be honest. And so in LA I think that's really helped me, because when I'm in conversations and meetings and I just say what it is, and people are like, you're so refreshing, and I'm like, okay, thanks.
It means honest.
Yeah.
And people ask you all the time, what do you do in LA? Because I know that's a LA thing.
Oh,
like, what
yeah.
do you do?
I don't tell people anymore.
I was going to ask you.
And you know why?
Honest?
It's honestly because of men. Because men are like gold diggers out. Like they're sluts in a nice way. Like they really want to know how can they get into your life. And now these dudes are really good at like playing the long game, because they'll like be cool and friendly, and then like 6 months in they be like, you know, I was thinking about writing a TV show. You be like, shoot me in the head, please. Like,
right now I like you.
Oh no, they.
Do you ever feel like I want to help him?
Never. I don't help men. Those days are over. I don't help men. I don't defend men. I don't vouch for men. I don't speak on their behalf. I can't.
Speak on their behalf.
I don't. Not even my brother. I'm like, I don't know what he did over there. I can only speak for what I know, but I can't. I'm not getting on no witness stand for no man ever. I can't do it. I just can't, because they be doing too much.
Yes, they do.
And you be on here being just like, he's a good man, and then they be like, well, here's a video of him, and you be like, damn, now I look crazy.
Comedian, journalist, writer Chloe Hilliard is here with us. Let's talk about girls' trips, because that's on the first episode, Flued Out.
Yeah.
All right. So do you remember your first girls' trip?
Absolutely. Yeah. It was cheap because we didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah,
and,
it's always like that.
Yeah. We took a bus to Atlantic City. Ooh. And we had a time. We had a time.
Was your dominatrix best friend with you?
No, this was a different group of friends. But a guy that I knew, he was a stripper. So we went to like the strip party, and then that was a whole time.
Okay, that's a fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some people I feel like women feel like that's not fun. You know how guys love going to strip clubs, and we do too, to go see women. But for some reason, they think like male strippers aren't fun. And I've actually hosted a couple and had so much fun at them.
Yeah. Oh, first of all, they're real showmen. Now, women strippers are more athletic. Because like back in the day, they were just like doing a little pole dance. Now they doing like Olympic style gymnastics. Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the snack pack, Gigi McGuire.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Like, I think honestly, stripping should be an Olympics. I think it's an Olympic sport.
It is, right? Don't they have it? Now, is it okay to go live on Instagram?
No, you can't. No, you can't. We lay the rules down. You cannot go live on anything, on a girls' night, girls' trip, anything. No live. You got to take video and then get approval from all parties present. Because I feel like if you go on live, you are op. You trying to destroy my life or something. You don't like me. If you go on live, you don't like me.
And people be like, "Woo!" I remember I went live when I was in where were we? We were at a casino somewhere. I did not know this was going to happen. One of my friends was drunk, and she started talking crazy about her job. I turned it right off. I was like, "What?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm my job."
You just see that finger coming through the camera, like,
yes.
No, I wasn't thinking. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, okay,
and I was like, "Ooh, let me delete this and make sure this doesn't go up anywhere." She started talking crazy.
Yeah, but you got to be careful because the thing is, people will record your live, and so now it's there in perpetuity, and you can't do anything to get rid of it.
How do you feel like your shows doing stand up when people have their phones out? Do you have a no phones rule? Do you make that announcement?
Well, I'm here in New York for the week, so I've been at the Comedy Cellar all week, and they have ironclad no phones, and I think that is so freeing, not only for me but for the audience, because you get to be present, and also it allows me the creativity to like work through stuff, because I'm just working on new material, and now I don't want to worry about you posting it when it's not ready and people judging me by something that could have been like an ad lib off the top of my head. And so I think we need to like really be more mindful of like, this is art, this is work. People are not ready to be on camera all the time. You got to be mindful of that.
Because as you're working through things, there's going to be times that you say the wrong thing.
Absolutely.
And then I would hate for Chloe to get canceled.
Absolutely. I'm barely here. I don't want you to cancel yet.
You feel like that? You still feel like you're barely here?
I do feel like that. Well, this is my third career. Like, I've done so many different things.
I know you from being a writer.
Yeah, so I was a journalist. I was an editor at Vibe.
Oh, yeah, journalist. Sorry, not just a writer. A journalist. Let's be clear.
There's a difference. But yeah, I was a journalist. I was an editor. I was at Vibe. I was at The Source magazine. I was right at The Village Voice. And then from there, I decided to go into comedy. I did that for 10 years. And then I wrote a book, F Your Diet. And then a pandemic happened and everything shut down. And in that time, I used all the things I had learned up until that point, and that got me into TV writing and producing. Then I moved to LA. So like, I feel like I'm constantly going like up a hill and down a hill and trying to figure out like new things about myself. And so I'm introducing myself to new people now. Like, people in Hollywood don't know the journalist in me or the comedian in me. They know the writer. And so I'm always thinking, I never take for granted that people know me.
All right, Chloe Hilliard is here again. She is an amazing, hilarious comedian, but I know her from being a journalist first. And we have a lot more to talk about. You can catch her writing for the Black Lady Sketch Show. We'll get into all of that. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Comedy on Way Up with Angela Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here, and Jasmine from thejasminebrand.com is here, and we are talking to author Chloe Hilliard. Not just an author, but also a journalist, also a TV writer, also a comedian. Where do you think your sense of humor comes from?
I was bullied tremendously. I had no friends. I was a social misfit. I was the tallest kid. I was the youngest kid, like, all my life. So I'm 6'1". I've been this height since I was 12. Like, so I never fit in. I grew up in a Hasidic Jewish neighborhood in Brooklyn, and everybody else was like in Crown Heights, Clinton Hill, and I never connected. I was in a church all the time. Like, I was the kid that knew nothing. Like, I had no idea who the top artist was. I remember one day after school, elementary school, somebody was like, what do you listen to, this radio station or this? I was like, I never heard of neither one of these. Like, I listened to Al Jarreau because my mom be playing Al Jarreau. Like Al Jarreau. Yeah, but I was like, I knew nothing. I had no street cred, nothing. Nothing. And I had no big cousins to beat nobody up. So it was just me out in the world. And so because of that, it was a defense mechanism to just not care. So it was nothing that you could say or bully me about that would get me, because I could say something way worse about you or myself and then just like kind of stuck. And so it was like my armor that just got me through a lot of like hard times. And then as I got older, it just made me observe things, because when you aren't in the scene, when you aren't in the popular group, you get to see everything. And so I got to see and learn people, and that thing helped me a lot.
So the bullying was helpful.
I want to thank my bullies. You got a camera at. I want to thank my bullies, because they truly did help me. Like, I had this conversation because I did not realize like how much it impacted me, because it made me so independent, and it made me not care what anybody thinks. So to this day, I don't care what anybody has to say about my creativity, my work, my book, me, my family, nothing, because I know who I am, and I know in my heart that I'm a good person, and I know that I want to do things for people. I want to help other people too. So if you don't like me, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem.
And before the show started, we were also talking about your father being in prison from when you were 4 until 9. So how do you think that affected you?
Oh, I mean, that definitely made me really independent. You know, my mom and I was the only child at the time. My mom and I really held on to each other, and we made sure that we took care of each other. And that made me a person that became a protector. And I think that's still a part of who I am. I always look out for people. I always look to see who needs help, who feels weak, who needs to be, you know, poured into. I'm always big on like letting people know that they have value and that they're special. And I think I did that for my mom, and my mom did that for me, because it was a hard time. My family, you know, my parents are still married to this day, and they were not newlyweds, but they were young when they got married. And so it was us. It was just the three of us. And so when my dad went to prison, it pulled that family structure away. And I still knew that my dad was there, so I didn't feel like I was abandoned, but it was a trust system, not only the trust system, like the system, but like being aware of what the system is at 4 or 5 years old, like traveling to prison and being like, why there's so many bars? Like, why can't I sit on his lap? Like, it's so many things that you become aware of as a kid that I think most people don't understand, that it does impact you, because when you try to have deep, meaningful relationships, it's always in the back of your mind, like, trust, is this going to be taken away, pulled away from me? How much can I like confide in this person? And will they be here tomorrow? And so, you know, I gotta give a shout out to therapy, because it definitely helps. It definitely helps when you get to like dig down to the root of like the triggers in your life. So I'm grateful that I was able to kind of like heal those wounds.
And Jasmine's been going to therapy. I've been talking about doing it.
You haven't, Angela.
Angela needs
You've
therapy
never
more than anybody
you've never been to therapy?
No, but I'm going to.
When?
I'm scheduling it. Thank you, better help.
Let's get a date. Let's get a date.
Thank you, better help. Now, another thing I want to ask you. I already know the answer to this. Are you glad that you never went to Freaknik?
Oh, yeah, I missed it. I just missed it. I mean, I used to hear about it. I just missed it. I am so glad. I am so glad I am not.
Think about all these women who are now very concerned.
First of all, why are you snitching on yourself, mama? That's 20 plus years ago. You could act like it's not you.
But can they just put you in this documentary without your consent?
Probably, yeah. They've shot it in public. So if you're shot in the street, in the public domain.
Usually when you're shooting in the sea, there's street or out public. There's usually a sign that says,
these are camcorders.
I know, but I'm saying you have to provide consent, some type of awareness.
I think Jasmine's on it.
I think it's I'm not I can't quote this directly, but I believe it's like when you go into a facility, when you go into a venue, a private venue, then you have to say this thing is being recorded. But if you're out in the street, it's public domain. And also, we don't know what's going to be in there. So
don't know yet.
Nobody knows what the actual like storyline is. Like, are they talking about a celebration of black excellence that got a little raunchy, or are they talking about like straight predator energy? Like, either way.
Also, I want men to be concerned.
No, men are concerned as well.
Concerned.
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Chloe, I want to make sure we got touched on everything that you wanted to talk about, because the Black Lady Sketch Show is back.
Yes, season 4. Watch it. HBO, streaming on HBO Max.
That's how I watch it. Everything's streaming from me, HBO, which is soon going to be only Max.
Yes.
Right. All right. Well, Chloe Hilliard, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And how can people find you online?
Yes, follow me. You can go to chloehilliard.com or fyourdiet.com. You can get a copy of my book. I'm also dropping a clothing line, athleisure wear.
Oh, nice.
My favorite type of gear.
I'm going to make sure y'all get some stuff up here. The line is called F Your Diet. So
we support. You don't even. We're gonna go online.
Yes.
It's over for us. We about to go
Thank you.
crazy.
Yeah, it's dropping soon. Dropping this summer. So I'm excited about it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you always. Yes. You got to make sure we make this a regular thing.
Whenever I'm in New York, I'm here.
Okay. Mastery of Comedy, Chloe Hilliard.
Thank you.
When we come back, we have Ask Ye. 800-292-5150 is a number. We are here to help. We want to give you guys some advice. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Hey, everybody, whether it's relationship or career advice, Angela's dropping facts.
You should know.
This is Ask Ye.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here, Angela Yee, and Melyssa Ford is guest hosting, and Jasmine from thejasminebrand.com is here, and we are doing Ask Ye. Lamarck, what's your question?
Hey, so my ex-boyfriend that cheated on me last year recently hit me up to apologize and to be friends, but he's still in a relationship with the guy that he cheated on me with. Now, should I be friends with him and get my lick back to get the boyfriend tight?
You want to get revenge. You want to waste your time and energy getting revenge.
He wants his lick back.
The problem is that maybe you still care, though.
I feel like I maybe low-key do.
Because, getting your lick back, a lot of times what that means is I care enough to want to get revenge.
Yeah.
And it could end up backfiring.
I was going to say, the universe isn't going to reward you for that, honey.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, I'm going to be I'm gonna be genuine and not leave him alone.
Lamarck, how did you catch him?
Well, no, he told me. Honest, I did a whole birthday thing for him, and the next day he told me that he cheated on me.
Oh, the next day after his birthday thing, and then stayed with the guy?
Wow.
Yeah, because he wanted the whole. I got the hotel room. I rented it out. I made it pretty. But he didn't tell me that night he wanted to, have the experience.
Let me tell you something, Lamarck. I've always found in my life that what goes around comes around, and the best revenge is for me to be doing well, right?
Yeah.
And so I do feel like you need to just let that go, because it's not going to work out. The type of person that your ex is, it sounds like he's a real a-hole. And the best thing that you could do is be like, all right, cool, forgiven, past that. Because clearly he's trying to reach out to you to maybe try to rekindle things.
Yeah.
And you don't need to do that. You need to just move on with your life and find somebody that treats you the way that you deserve to be treated. Because it sounds like you did some great things for him, and then he just kicked you in the stomach.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Lamarck, you about to call him. I could tell. All right.
No, I'm not.
Okay. We want accountability. We need you to follow up.
Yeah, keep us posted.
I got you.
All right. Bye. All right. Well, that was Ask Ye. That lick back never works out right.
At least not for me.
Yeah.
No.
And then you fall in love again, get hurt again.
Right.
All right. Well, that was Ask Ye again. 800-292-5150 is a number. If you ever need help, we are here for you, and you can always leave a message, and we'll respond that way too. And speaking of leaving a message, when we come back, we have the last word. That's when you guys call in and you have the last word on the show. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Pick up the phone.
Tap in. Tap in and get your voice heard.
What the word is.
Here's the last word on Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. I had fun today because my friends are here.
Yeah.
Jasmine from thejasminebrand.com is here. Melyssa Ford is here.
The show flew by.
It did. I had a good time. This is why it's good to have your own show. You just put your friends on.
You're like, hey, come on, girl. Come up here. Melyssa, did you have a good time?
I mean, I always have a good time when I'm hanging out with you guys.
I, by the way, am so glad that Melyssa has moved back to the East Coast from LA.
Yes, but I have a feeling that our hangouts will probably be a little bit different from,
years ago.
Our younger years.
We actually went out to eat already when she first got back here. We went to
Where'd I go?
Katsuya.
Okay. All right.
I got to take you there. Jasmine gets so jealous if I don't take her places.
No, food places. I don't want to go nowhere else. I just want to go eat. Don't do me like that, Angela.
By the way, I posted a picture with my best friend the other day, and people think that we're a lesbian couple.
That's funny.
That is hilarious.
I know. I'm like, okay.
Furthest thing from it.
But you know what's different about for us? Like, I think Melyssa and I, we've slept in the bed together. Definitely Jasmine has, but not for any, but it's what women, like guys, I think they get like really creeped out.
Guys can't do that, can they?
You know what? I'm going to have to ask the guys on the show tomorrow. Do you guys, when you go away, do you feel comfortable sleeping in the same bed with each other? Because we're just like, okay,
it's no big deal. Yeah, it's like, come on, you can just stay in my room. Here, just get on that side. Like, I have a king size bed.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not that big a deal, but guys always make such a big deal out of sharing
guys don't
a
do
bed.
it, right? I don't think guys do it at all once they're adults, right?
Shout out to our producer, Dan. He had a really bad incident at his place.
He did.
And his bed got ruined. The people upstairs have fled, so he's going to have to share a bed. If anybody...
If anyone wants to share a bed with Dan.
But listen,
Dan's looking for somewhere to sleep tonight.
I do want to thank Chloe Hilliard for coming through today. I love her. She's so funny. She's actually from Brooklyn, like me.
Yep.
You know, I love Brooklyn people. And she's a comedian. She's a journalist. She's a TV writer, Black Lady Sketch Show. She writes for that. This new season just started. So make sure you guys check that out. And
She's
make
so
sure
smart and funny.
And make sure you get her book too, F Your Diet.
Oh, yeah. Well, I already agree with that mantra, so I'm picking that up.
All right. Also, of course, thank you to Melyssa Ford for joining us today. And you can catch her on the Joe Button podcast as well. I'm waiting for your book, Melyssa. It's been
my God, I'm still trying to figure out how to write that sucker.
A long time coming.
Every time I start to write, I'm just like, nope, can't say that.
Because you have lived, Melyssa.
You gotta just get fake names.
It's gonna have to be that way.
Yeah, that's all.
Definitely gonna have to be that way.
And then you tell me who it is.
Yeah.
All right. And Jasmine from the Jasmine brand will be back tomorrow, of course.
I will, yeah.
Rocking with me from day one. Today I got to host a gala, American Foundation for the University of the West Indies. So make sure you guys go to afuwi.org to donate, because this is a organization. I'm on the board and they are amazing. But you guys always have the last word. 800-292-5150 is the number. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I totally agree with the guru in regards to how the relationship turns out when one person is not treating the other person in which the way they want to be treated. Because I was in a relationship somewhat similar to that. By the way, my name is Nikki. But, you know, the guy started out all flowers, open doors, this, that, and the third. And then after a while, it got to who you on the phone with. But then when I would go into his computer to see who was he on Messenger and all these different websites and stuff, you know, he didn't like that process. So, yeah, I agree. Have a good day.
Listen, people get dating mixed up. Dating is like being an employer hiring an employee. You hiring a lifetime mate. So people get dating mixed up. When you go for a job, it's a probation period to see if you're qualified. So it's the same thing with dating and meeting a mate. You're hiring a lifetime mate to see their qualifications. You got to check their resumes. You got to look into your mate to see if they're even compatible with you. This is a lifetime job that you're hiring somebody for.
How you doing, Angela Yee? Congratulations. I was listening, and I think a lady was talking about sleeping with 20 guys within the past 4 months or 5 months because her husband cheated. I guess I'm dealing with the same situation where my girlfriend, she was doing a lot, the most, talking to different guys. And I'm a Scorpio, so in this case, I didn't do 20. I did like about 2 within a year. And everything's back to normal. She said she was talking to guys anymore. And she has boundaries. She respects her boundaries.
You vibing way up with Angela Yee.